Welcome to the Retro Graveyard. This time we have this mystery Hydra 8-track recorder I found at a car boot sale. This is the first 8-track player I've owned. My parents didn't have one when I was a kid. I think the first time I saw one was Homer Simpson's in his car and wondered what it was. 8-track cartridges first started being produced in 1968 and lasted through until 1982, when stores in the US stopped selling them, but they were still available until the end of the 80s. Anyway, years later I'm collecting old tech and I've been on the lookout for one, so let's take a closer look. It's badged as a Hydra brand 8-track. I haven't been able to find anything out about this brand in my research. In fact, the only mention of this name of this actual 8-track is a post on the forum, and they didn't have a clue about it either. I've seen inside that a component is stamped with Japan, so I can only assume it was manufactured there and maybe it was sold under different names. Although I haven't found any pictures of it at all, so it's a bit of a mystery. But I can show you this working and all of its functions, and later in the video I'm going to record my own 8-track using a new old stock cartridge. So here is the front of the 8-track recorder. Starting on the left there is a selector knob. If set to repeat, the current selected channel or program will repeat in a loop. If turned to auto select, then this will select the next program until all of them have been played. Then there is the auto stop function that will play the selected program and then stop. And that's where the start button comes in. If auto stop is selected and it comes to the end of the program and stops, when the next program is selected, you will need to press the start button to play it. In the auto select or repeat position, the cartridge will automatically start playing when pushed in. Above the cartridge slot, there are 4 green LEDs to indicate which program you have currently selected. And below that there is a 1/4 inch headphone socket and 2 1/4 inch left and right microphone sockets. Next there is the huge red record button, followed by the channel or program selector and a very slow fast forward function, and below that the power button. Then lastly, on the right hand side there are 2 vertical VUs and volume sliders that also double as level adjustment when recording. Now let's have a look at the back. On the back there is the built-in power cord and input and output RCA sockets. There is also a 5-pin DIN socket. So let's have a look inside. There are 3 screws holding this together on the bottom. Once they are taken out, the front slides out and the wooden case can be put aside. Here's the inside of the recorder. Here we can see the belt. This is something that may need replacing in most 8-track recorders. This one seems okay though, so I'm guessing it was already replaced at some point in the past. Here is the component stamped with Japan that I mentioned earlier. At the end of each program there is a metal strip that the player senses to move on to the next program until he gets to the end of all 4, then starts again. When the cartridge is inserted into the machine, the head is pushed against the tape and onto the sponge. This head reads and records. It doesn't have a separate head for recording. And talking of the head, I'm going to give that a clean while this is open. I'm sure that it's got some build up of dirt over the years. I'm just going to use a cotton bud with some isopropyl alcohol on it. I bought this one on eBay as a blank and still sealed cartridge. I'm now going to open it up for the first time. I don't know how old this is, but I'm thinking it's been sealed for 30 odd years at least. Despite it never being used, it will still need the sponge replacing inside, as these sponges disintegrate over the years and need to be replaced if you want your cartridge to sound good. I'm going to take this apart to replace the sponge inside. To do that, I need to push a small flat blade screwdriver into each of these holes to pop the back off, like this. I've only opened a few of these and they are quite difficult. I didn't break anything this time, so that's good. I guess they were never designed to be opened up. This is what it looks like inside an 8-track. The tape is an endless loop. So here we have the replacement sponge strip. It's attached to a piece of plastic on this side and a clear piece on this side. I'm going to pull this one out slowly so I don't make a mess.
and this one just slots in like this. And that's done. Now to clip the cover back on. So why are they called 8 tracks? Well, the tape here is divided into 4 programs, and each one of those is split into 2 tracks for stereo sound, which makes 8 tracks in total. I'm going to check to see if this is actually blank before I go any further.
The music played in this theatre is available on EMI Records. Further details may be obtained from the poster in the foyer.
Well, that's definitely not blank as described. Sounds like it was used as music in a theatre while the audience was waiting for the performance to start. I'm guessing these were mass produced without labels, and the person that sold it to me assumed it was blank. So I had to skip through it. The playlist includes Hot Chocolates, Heaven is in the Back Seat of My Car, and Discover Me by David Ruffin. They were all songs from the 70s. I was about to film the next section of this video and this happened. Unfortunately, it seems this is a common occurrence in 8-track cartridges, again due to their age. This time the culprit is this metal strip that tells the player to change programs. The glue on these breaks down over the years and becomes weak, to the point where it comes unstuck like this. So I'm going to have to take this one apart again and add a new strip that I've ordered from eBay. So here are the 2 pieces of tape. I haven't got any special equipment to help me with this, just a piece of paper and some paper clips. That will do. Okay, so that's done. Now the arduous task of winding the tape back on. I won't bore you by showing you that. Not all units can record. I wasn't aware that this was a function available on 8-track players until I brought this one. So, as this has a record function, I thought it'd be nice to record my own 8-track compilation of my current favourite band, Ghost. Ghost, like some other current bands and artists, have released limited runs of 8-track cartridges recently. I haven't been able to get my hands on one yet, and the prices are through the roof now. So to record from a source, I need to plug some RCA cables in the input sockets in the back here. Then they will, in this case, plug into the back of my Technic system using the tape out sockets. I already have RCAs plugged into the tape input, going into the inputs on the back of the recorder here. I can output a number of sources from this Technic setup, such as CD, vinyl, and I have my PC connected up, so anything from my music streaming account. In this case, I'll be recording from my PC. Before recording, I'm going to wipe this by recording silence over the songs on here. So I've done that, and the 8-track is at the start ready to go. There are 10 minutes on each track, so I need to make sure that they're all going to fit okay. So first of all, I need to test the recording level. Even without a cartridge in, I can press the record button, which lights up red. You can't be mistaken that this is ready to record. Now, I will test the levels by playing some of the album. You won't be able to hear it. I'm going to turn it down so I don't get any content matches here on YouTube. But you can still see the levels here. So I'm going to adjust them until the needle isn't too far into the red on the louder parts. Now this is done, I will get the songs ready that I want to record on the first program, and I'll make sure the first program is selected. Now I'll put the cartridge in, press start, which will start the tape running, and then I'll press play on the PC. As we can see from the VU, the track is playing. Now to wait until the songs I wanted have played through, then I will wait for the recorder to stop at the end of the program and I'll change it to the next one. So now I'll repeat the process until all the tracks are recorded. Now that's done, I thought it'd be nice to design a sticker for it. I've designed it to look like how they would have done originally. Here's mine next to one. I think it's a cool little novelty to have a current band on an 8-track I can just pop in from time to time and play. So that was the mystery Hydra RD1300 8-track recorder from the 70s it seems. It was a great find for £15 and while obviously not high end, it does its job well enough. I'm certainly happy with it until a better one comes along. I'm off to see what else I can find in the retro graveyard. Thanks for your attendance.